Afternoon, Dr. Goldman. This is my presentation. Hope you can see me. I can't really see the camera. So, it's my presentation. Sarah Model, Community Disruption Due to New Apartment Complexes by Chad Triplett. My description of my situation. I'm a police officer with the Cheney Police Department at a new 300-unit apartment complex has recently opened that is somewhat isolated from the city. The single location has generated 80% of my calls for service in the past 3 months. Most are complaints of noise, underage drinking, vandalism, and fighting between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. on weekends. For scanning, so right away I could tell that the problem was that it's 80% of my calls between the hours of 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. And that's a large amount, and it's pretty easy to find the problem in that. So when I went on to find out that 80% of all the calls come from one apartment complex, it's easy to pinpoint and then kind of try to solve it. So the time it's happening is, again, from the weekdays, from the hours of 10 p.m. till 2 a.m. My solution is have the police force dedicate a patrol to create a police presence in the apartment complex in order to slow crime rate and public indecency. For analysis, who? This is affecting the residents of the apartment complex and also the civilians visiting. And the people who are creating this problem are also residents, and since it's underage drinking and it's in a college town, I can correlate it over to college students. Why it is occurring is since there's a majority of college students there's a lot of partying going on. From the hours from 10 p.m. till 2 a.m. means there's most likely people going to the bars, because that is a very popular time for everyone to go to the bars and for everyone to drink. For gathering data, I gathered the data just from what I was given, which is 80% of the calls are coming from this one location. There's no dedicated patrols at this time, which I believe is one of the problems, because without a police presence there, we're not getting through with anything, and people are having free reign. They're not having to worry about what their consequences are to their actions. My response, I thought of two different ones. One is to have scheduled patrols to go within those areas. Since it's 80% of the calls, that would be a good use of time going and mitigating a lot of these calls. Another one is night management with the apartment complex. So what this would be like is when you go in and move in, you sign something that allows you to say, hey, if I'm in trouble, I have a noise complaint, I'm underage drinking, and I get reported, that I can be fined. So what this will do is also create a consequence so people will be more afraid to commit these crimes or just disrupting the peace. So what I want to implement is having more police presence. So whether this be police patrols or police on foot. If police were on foot, it would allow them to be able to walk around and start to get to know people. So in that way, they're going to respect the police more, and also hopefully they'll be less inclined to commit these crimes and disruptions. For the assessment, how we're going to assess this is we're going to compare whatever the percent of the calls is to the 80% that we begin with. So I'm hoping to do the test for about a month. After a month, look to see if it dropped, if it rose, and go on from there. If it keeps rising or stays the same, we're going to come up with a new strategy. Maybe more police presence, or maybe looking into actually implementing the fines. If the patrols are going successfully, then we're just going to keep it the same and we're going to continue on, because if it's proving to be good, there's no point in changing it. And that way also the civilians who are there can kind of relax. So the main question is the percent going down? So by having those police there, is it making a better place to stay? So that would be my solution. And I believe that having a police patrolling the area and having that presence there will make people think more about their options and their actions. Thank you.